topic is going to be affirmative action. Now, for you guys who don't know what affirmative action is, it's pretty much, a law that was enacted, I think, in the 60s, where, all government institutions, and I think even corporations, right? Corporations must have a certain quota of ethnicities. For example, if there are a certain amount of, if there are two people running, one is African American and one is, white. If the school is lacking African American people, if they're below, I think 25% or whatever quota is, they will have to take the African American, regardless of whether the white is better qualified or not. Does that make sense?
Yes.
No? Who said no?
In the 1977 law cases, they said you.
Come on, everybody got there. Guys, sit down.
This is why when anything part of the court, just dude, stand on the podium.
Yeah, I remember this because.
On the podium.
Okay. But the rule is, because this was in the 1977 law cases, that you can only choose the African American over the white person if and only if they are of the same quality, like their GPA is exactly the same.
But in often happens where they get chosen over the person.
Yeah.
So that is the law, but it doesn't always happen that way.
Yeah.
I'll say nothing in favor of that. I'm just saying. You gotta make sure everyone's right.
Exactly. So some issues might come up over whether this is really fair. Does it actually fight prejudice? And I know in the 70s what started happening was that a lot of African American or a lot of people who were white started losing jobs because of affirmative action. So is this actually a benefit? And does this actually help fight racism and prejudice, or does this actually further propagate racist attitudes?
Alright, I'm against affirmative action because being part of the majorly affected demographic of just being a white male, it makes life way harder, college-wise and job-wise. Like Faraz said, a lot of people can go out of get fired from their job because the company needs more minority workers. It's already hard enough as a white male to get into college because there are so few scholarships that help whites and so few clubs, no clubs, because that's kind of an iffy subject for whites. I mean, a college or company should not be judged by how many different races it has. It should be judged off of the proficiency of its members or its students. We don't need colleges with several vibrant communities within it. We need colleges with scholars.
Alright, I'm going to be giving you guys all a minute, so understand that?
Are we allowed to do much instead of time?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, I am also completely against affirmative action. Because what this is trying basically too hard to be politically correct. And what we see in oftentimes is that trying to be so politically correct often backfires. My sister goes to UC San Diego, and she's an RA, and she was telling me how the training they go through there, it basically supports racism, because it's talking about how you should treat African Americans, Asians, just different ethnicities in different ways. And so really just another step like this to try to be politically correct is stupid. And like he said, it's hard enough for a white male to get into college nowadays because of it. And also, like he said, if you see a lot of Indo-Paki clubs like that. If you start with only what
Motion to suspend the rules and extend the speaker's time.
second.
Okay, if you have an all-white club, people are going to think you're the KKK. I mean, really. There have been a few people, I've watched the news, who have tried to start scholarships for white people, Caucasian people, mainly males, and they've gotten shot down because people are like, you're racist, you hate other ethnicities, when in reality it's just trying to create another scholarship for more people. So really giving more scholarships to minorities is stupid.
I'm Danielle Thomas, and I'm against affirmative action. I think even though it is creating more opportunities for minorities, it's also taking away opportunities for people, the majority rural or the Caucasian race. Like my mom and my dad, they both got in on affirmative action, but when it comes down to it, it's further segregating races. It's creating all these different separations because of your race when all this time we've just been trying to get past them. So I do not agree with it.
I just want to point out, Shaun left. Shaun said that we need to start filling colleges with more scholarly people. I'm pretty sure that most of us in this room, like the minority, has actually become the majority in this room. There's probably more people of a different ethnic background than whites in this room. And I'm pretty sure that we're all scholars. So the statement saying that we need to fill colleges with more scholars, meaning more white people, is an ignorant statement. However, at the same time, a lot of people blow things out of proportion, specifically, with minorities. You can make a movie about White Man Can't Jump, but if you made a movie called Black Man Can't Swim, all black people are going to be in unrest. Yeah, you know what I mean? We're building these stereotypes because of affirmative action, and we're saying, black people are getting the upper hand, or Mexican people are getting the upper hand over whites. Yes, but this problem, it can't be solved. So, yeah. What? Is that it? I'll go.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay.
That's a name.
Name? Names have it. Okay, by the way, just to let you know, I will be doing a 15-second tap, just to let you guys know. This means stop. This means you got 15 seconds. All right, anybody else?
The point of affirmative action was to solve racism, but isn't it getting racism worse because they're getting racist against white people or whoever that's the majority, supposedly?
Hi, I'm Chad, and I'm against affirmative action. To me, this system isn't based on equality, but equal proportions. I believe people should be judged on their individual merit and not because someone has a color of skin that's darker or lighter than someone else. Everyone says, let's treat people equally, then why are we going to have affirmative action where we categorize people into having a quota? I think that's just bias.
I also think affirmative action is just trying to make up for all the racism of the other minorities, and I don't think that's right because we're just kind of switching off here. Oh, we were racist against the minority, so okay, now we're going to give minorities the upper hand and not as much with white people. So then what? Next few years, oh, okay, maybe we should be nice to the white people now and not the minorities. We can't just keep switching off. We have to make it equal.
Alright, all you guys are against affirmative action, so I'm before it. When you guys said that, I think it was him, that statesman. He said that you can win by affirmative action, but you have to have the same qualifications. So you still have what you need to make the job. And the quotas for schools and stuff are still higher for Caucasian people. They're still higher than the other minority groups. It's just that they're there. And the reason it was put into effect was because a lot of people weren't getting jobs because they're a minority group. Some corporations are going to hire a white guy over an Indian guy just because he's white. That's just the way it is. That's why they put affirmative action into effect.
Yeah.
My name is Samuel. I'm an English learner. If I say something wrong, just understand me. Okay. Affirmative action is not always perfect because it promotes to hire anyone, people employed to institutions which they are not enough to get in, for example, university or other business jobs. And those who are able to get in are going to be rejected because of that. Therefore, I consist that affirmative action is unnecessary.
Okay, you guys are all against this. It's like some racist issue. Like, it's all about race. Less white people, more black people. Yeah, it's not like that. Seriously, stop looking at a century-old law and look at the mindset of affirmative action. The mindset of affirmative action is to make up for a disadvantage by giving disadvantaged people an advantage. So stop looking at a century-old law and look at the mindset of affirmative action. It diversifies. If we are doing it on race, if we're doing it based on economic situation, if we're doing it based on what you need and what you've got already, then it's not just race. Okay, we're not just going, you're Mexican, you get in, you're white, no thanks, Asian, no bye. Oh, black, yeah, you're in. We're not doing that. Our goal is to give people who have a disadvantage an advantage. Race isn't a disadvantage. Empirically speaking, Empirically speaking, you've got economic situations, you've got your religion, you've got your sexual orientation, etc., etc.
Okay, yeah, I was just saying, you guys, it's easy to look at it from the California perspective that, you know what, colleges aren't racist anymore, there isn't a lot of racism. Look at all this, diversity we have. It's impossible for them to actually single out a minority. But the fact is that in a lot of colleges all over the United States, there are still very racist deans of admissions. I'm not gonna lie. In Harvard, there's actually a pretty racist one. My cousin was telling me about it. Yeah, he's not gonna let in anyone who's Indian. Affirmative action protects those rights. It doesn't matter what ethnicity you are. Now, for those who are saying that, if you're white, you're not going to get in, that's false. This is equal opportunity for all ethnicities. This is not just saying whites can't get in, everyone else can. They're saying try to have this many, this percent of this, ethnicity, this percent of this ethnicity, so we can encompass everyone for the all-around, American experience. This is not trying to single out whites for everything they've done to African Americans. This is fair for everyone who has a disadvantage.